If you are going through a period of dramatic cool-off in your relationship, or if your husband has already left you, don't panic. Often, even on the verge of a divorce, there are still ways to get him back. In this case, you need to understand what is the reason for separation and what happened to your love. When you understand this clearly, it will be easier for you to find the correct steps to get him back. Love can be compared to a flower. It needs constant attention and care. If you don't water a flower for months, it withers. If you water it too often, the flower will also die. For it to thrive, the attention and care the flower gets needs to be just right. Something similar happens in a relationship. You need to concentrate on finding out what could have been the reason for the disappearance of love in your relationship. Too much negativity in the family. Feelings often die from the negativity and pain that people feel in the marriage for one reason or another. It often happens that the woman in the family becomes too aggressive. She begins to yell at her husband often or nag him, and he feels unneeded and unvalued. He may start feeling apathetic and depressed. And if a man goes into a depression, it is very difficult to get him out. Remember, it's hard to stay in a relationship with someone who's constantly negative and nagging for too long. The next reason for the death of a relationship may be that you haven't fertilized it for a long time. I'd like to mention that no matter how strong the love is between two people, it goes away if you don't invest in the relationship. For example, you may be spending too much time with your friends or relatives, or working a lot, not spending enough time with your husband. A man may take this treatment for some time, but after a while, he's likely to start a romance on the side. Many couples don't pay attention to the fact that they have dedicated themselves completely to work, forgetting about each other. But when divorce is imminent, they often feel sorry for not paying enough attention to each other. The woman is stuck on something and refuses to hear her husband. It often happens that two people live in their separate worlds and don't see the emotional needs of their partner. In this case, the spouses only think of their own needs, making it very difficult to understand the other person in the relationship. The woman didn't live up to her husband's expectations. In any marriage, partners have expectations of each other. These expectations started before the man and woman got married, and they don't disappear after the marriage. If the expectations aren't met, your husband will start feeling disappointed. At this moment, he will understand that nothing will ever be the way it was and will try to run away from the marriage. An affair. If a man finds out that his wife is cheating on him, he understands that he's no longer important to her. In the man's mind, this is a very severe form of showing him that you don't need him. Every man wants to see that his wife is afraid of losing him. When the man finds out about his wife's infidelity, he may go into a deep depression. He will also start having self-esteem issues. He will feel hatred and anger towards his wife, and these emotions easily cancel out any good feelings he may have about her. I'd like to recommend a great website where I found a lot of information on how to get a husband back. Take a look. exback.how/H. exback.how/H. You need to have a good action plan to get your husband back and revive his love for you. If you just follow your emotions, you will unlikely be successful. Here are a few recommendations that will help you raise your chances of getting your husband back. 1. Take a break after he leaves. If you chase him, he is likely only to get mad. Try to remember how your relationship started. He fell in love with you for some qualities you have. Right now, you need to act in a different way than you've been acting lately. Time will play in your favor here, giving him an opportunity to miss you. 2. Analyze your relationship. Remember all of your husband's complaints. It's best to do this with a clear head. You may see what he was trying to tell you, but from another light. I strongly recommend writing everything down. It'll be easier to work on your mistakes this way. 3. You need to work on yourself. Don't forget that you have to fix those shortcomings in you that he didn't like. If you were in a bad mood all the time, maybe you should talk to a therapist who will help you understand the roots of your negativity, helping you also to get rid of the pain you feel inside. Once you've changed, it's the perfect time to show the changes to your husband. If you just come out and tell him that you're different now, he's unlikely to believe you. I recommend you use the techniques of indirect influence that you can read in detail in the book Get Your Husband Back by Sergio Arias, Gary Ideal, and Helen Wolf. The idea here is to demonstrate your changes through his environment, social media, or special stories. This technique will help you go around the emotional block that he's created to avoid the pain and disappointment that he felt in the relationship with you. 4. Change how you look. You need to change your style or your hair, but don't tell your husband that you'll be going to the gym soon or start some type of self-improvement courses. It's best to do this first and then show him. Only then will the man understand that you are really changing for the better. 5. Learn how to say you're sorry. When you do meet your husband in person, tell him that you're sorry for all the pain you caused him while you were together. Of course, you can't bring back time, but you can always ask for a second chance. And 6. Talk to him about the good times you had together. Maybe look through photographs where you're together or remember a good vacation you were on. The peculiarity of this point lies in the fact that you can only utilize it when all the other work on yourself has been done. If you start with this, you will likely only push him away further. If you still have questions, please write them in the comment section here and I'll be happy to answer them. You can find a more detailed plan on how to get your husband back in the book Get Your Husband Back by Sergio Arias, Gary Ideal, and Helen Wolf. Just click on the link below this video. Please like our video and tell us what you wish to see in our upcoming material. We'll be happy to consider your preferences. Good luck in bringing love back to your family.